This is Haystack Help Radio on KLZ 560. Haystack Help Radio is powered by HaystackHelp.com. Finding help can be like finding a needle in a haystack, but with HaystackHelp.com, finding the needle just got easier. Now, Haystack Help Radio with Scott Watley on KLZ 560.
Good afternoon and welcome to Haystack Help Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today. Special edition of Your Money Matters, brought to you by our good friends at Affordable Interest Mortgage. And normally Kurt Rogers joins us each week, and today he sent the star. Affordable Interest Mortgage. We'll just go with that, yeah. Jared Bouzek is with us, and Jared's a great friend of mine personally and all that. But, again, Affordable Interest Mortgage, a great company. Good night. We have been together supporting each other here now for a number of years, and really since about 2003, I believe. So great company, and Kurt Rogers, his team, they do a great job. They're your one-stop shop for all of your mortgage needs. They can help you. Their number is 720-895-0500, 720-895-0500. Well, Jared, great to have you in today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
So how's the mortgage world right now?
Man, it's been awesome. It's still busy. It's still been a pretty wild real estate market. And so, yeah, I mean, it's been going really good. We're doing really well at Affordable Interest Mortgage.
You've been doing this a few years now. What's probably been some of the surprises to you as you got into this and started helping people with mortgages? What's been some of the things that you're like, man, I had no idea?
I think the biggest thing that really surprised me when I first started was how much goes on behind the scenes that you never really know about. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because mortgages has a little bit of a reputation of, you know, people talk about how all the stuff that goes into the documentation you have to provide, and we're constantly going back and asking for more stuff. And, you know, really there's so much more that goes on that you don't know about. It's kind of like the duck where everything looks smooth on top of the water, but below the feet are just
paddling like crazy. Yeah. And so we and you actually several years ago did a loan with Affordable Interest Mortgage. So you've seen both sides of what it's like to do business on that side, and then what it's like to lead this.
Yeah, I did, and I was a first-time home buyer, so I didn't have any clue what doing a mortgage was like. And Kurt was my loan officer, mm-hmm. and I think you had kind of connected the dots there for us. And so it was a really good experience. I mean, I walked away impressed with Kurt and the company. And so now that I get the opportunity to work for him, it's really a great experience. And actually here at the end of last year, Kurt, I don't know if it was ever brought up here or Kurt ever talked about it, but Kurt actually crossed 15 years of having
right.
Affordable Interest Mortgage, which is, you know, a testament to him and the business that he runs and the company. And
you don't last if you don't treat people right and do things the right way.
Yeah. Well, and especially coming through that 2007 to 2009 time period where it was very difficult on, you know, the real estate industry and a lot of people in the mortgage industry. So for Kurt and the company to have come through that and to be strong on the other side is really a testament to him and the type of business that he runs and how he treats people.
Right. If you've got any questions, we'll open up the phone lines, 303-477-5600. We'll be talking about mortgages today. Now, you kind of, you know, it seems like once you got into this, I think it's always great to carve yourself out a little niche and something that be a little different than just everybody else. And you started working with millennials a lot and kind of figuring out how can you be of help to those folks. So what's been some enlightening things there working with millennials?
Yeah, it was very natural because I myself am a millennial. So it's easy. I can identify well with that age group. And I think the most eye-opening thing, really, even beyond my own experience going through mortgages, is just that there are a lot of millennials who do want to become homeowners. And the problem that they're facing is just, it seems like this insurmountable mountain that they don't even know where to start. They don't understand mortgages. They don't know how much money it takes to do it. And they really, I think there's kind of a feeling amongst the millennials that they don't really know who to trust. Who do you go to really kind of guide you through that process? And there's so many, our generation is so big on the internet and Google and looking at those resources, but ultimately even the stuff you read on Google, you don't know.
Sure.
You know what?
No kidding.
What is the fake news of mortgages, and you don't know what's out there. So it's difficult to really identify that person you can trust.
Mm-hmm. What are you finding that the understanding of money is with millennials? I mean, a lot of people that, my age, which is not millennial, that, didn't really grow up with that, maybe both parents worked or whatever, but they didn't grow up with that great lesson in money and saving money and keeping good credit and all those different things. Are you finding most of the people that you deal with, have done well in that, or some of them, said, hey, well, I had no idea 10 years ago I should have took better care of my credit?
Yeah, I think obviously you're going to run into people all across the spectrum to some degree, and even amongst the millennials. I think one of the biggest things that millennials are facing is that especially when you exit college and even when you exit high school, you have this kind of decision, whether conscious or subconscious, you're going to make this decision of what lifestyle level am I going to live at. And I think a lot of millennials have, in a way, kind of accelerated that lifestyle. And so that, it's a struggle to, I guess, pull back whenever you've said, hey, I'm going to spend this much of my rent and I'm going to go out and live the lifestyle and I want to have fun and I want to enjoy my youth. And that's fine. I mean, there's validity in going and enjoying your youth. But at the same time, I think they're finding that some of them want to settle down and they want to get married and they want to have kids and have a family. And it's easier to have 2 or 3 kids when you're not living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Exactly. Jared Bouzek is our guest. Affordable Interest Mortgage is the company. Again, you can reach them, 720-895-0500. And we said this recently when we were doing a show with Pamela Meyer, and it really fits here as well. It's never too early to make that call to Jared, establish that relationship. You may not be thinking about doing anything for several months, first of next year, next summer, whatever the case may be. But again, I highly recommend you give Jared a call. Again, that number is 720-895-0500. And just establish that relationship. Figure out your needs. Sometimes there's some work to be done on your end. Maybe it's paying off some credit cards. Maybe it is working on credit, some different things. But then that way, hey, you're all ready when you're ready instead of getting that ball rolling at a different time. So, again, you can reach Jared, free consultation, 720-895-0500. Now, let's talk about real estate investing as a kind of a wealth building tool. Man, I mean, we both know people that, have bought things a few years ago. Now they're getting offered, a very well-respected figure to make money on that. I don't know where somebody could make in some cases $1 million in 5 years or $400,000 in 5 years, different things like that. So do you recommend using real estate as a wealth building tool?
Absolutely. And I think, if we were to sit down and look at, as you were saying, all those different options of where can I deploy my money to invest and get a return on that, I really believe that real estate is one of the best in terms of the return that you can get versus the risk that's involved in real estate. Let's face it, you can do stock market, you can Forex trade, you can real estate invest, you can do cryptocurrencies. There's any number of things out there that you can invest in. And ultimately, each one of those has varying levels of risk to it. And ultimately, and a lot of what I want to talk about today is understanding that risk, understanding what's involved in that investment, and hopefully kind of making the case to help people understand how to better invest in real estate.
Right. And you have to look at, when people, and we'll talk about, first-time home buyers, I mean, it's exciting, yet very scary because you're used to just paying rent, and you're like, hey, they got to fix stuff. Yeah, so when people get approved for a mortgage, let's say the first time, how do you coach them? I mean, if they get approved for $375, do you recommend buying a house at $375 or trying to stay a little bit below to give them some money to do some other things? How do you coach, for that?
Well, a lot of it is going to depend on your mentality, especially with the younger, if you want to talk about the millennials, then yeah, there is some more coaching, I guess is a good word, that goes into that, and saying, I've talked about it here before. Just because you can afford the 300 or 400 or 500,000 doesn't necessarily mean you should buy that. And I can sit down and get as in depth as people want to. If you want me to break down your budget and help you show how that's going to fit within the amount of money you make, then we can do that. And it's just ultimately, sitting down and having that conversation. Now, when it comes to real estate investing, there's a lot more analysis that goes into it. And if your mindset going into that purchase is that you want to become a real estate investor, then you want to have not just an immediate point of view, but really we need to have a 10, 20, 30-year point of view on the decision that you're making right now. And it can be difficult to outline all of that, but at the very least we can have that discussion and see how everything is going to fit together in your overall financial picture.
Right. And you look at things, I heard an ad driving here to the station today about a flipping houses seminar. And there are people that have done very well in that. There are people that have lost everything doing it. So again, you've got to be smart in it and have a team around you, someone like yourself with mortgages, to say, hey, have you thought about this, and this? Because it all sounds good buying something, putting a $5-6 grand in it or something, but when you're going to put in 150 grand in something and then trying to sell it, a lot to weigh there for risk.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I think a lot of times when we say real estate investing, flipping is the first thing that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. And especially coming out of the Great Recession, sometimes there can be a lot of negativity that's tied to that idea. And then on the other side of it, you have it very sensationalized in television because you have shows that are entirely dedicated to flipping. Right. And ultimately, I guess the biggest thing I would try to get across is that there is almost an immeasurable number of ways that you can invest in real estate. And I mean, we could sit here and talk for every Tuesday for the next few months, and we would probably never exhaust the number of ways you can real estate invest. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately it comes down to what is going to fit your personality and what is your tolerance for risk. And also some of it depends on your background. I mean, obviously somebody who has a background in home repair or carpentry or whatever it may be is gonna be more fit for flipping. Sure. Because that fits with what your experience is. Yeah. But really there are lots and lots of people out there who don't have that kind of a background, and so therefore they're not. That would be me.
My background is knowing who to call. That's my background, and that's expensive. I mean, you're not going to be able to save as much, and sometimes it's more expensive for you to try to do it first before you call a professional as well. Jared Bouzek is our guest. Affordable Interest Mortgage is the company. Today our topic, we're going to be talking about real estate investing. When we come back, we're going to have Jared talk about some of the different ways, why real estate investing as a wealth building tool. We're going to talk about what types of real estate investing there are. Should you invest local or maybe somewhere else in different state, different area of Colorado? If you have any questions, our lines are open, 303-477-5600. We'll be right back.
What could you do with an extra $500, $1,000, or even $1,500 per month? How would that change things for you? Would you buy a new car, pay off bills, or just feel a bit more secure about your retirement? What if I told you there's a way to make your dreams a reality? I'm talking about trading and investing in the market. Now, before you say, oh, that's not for me, just hear me out. I want to invite you to a half-day trading course so you can check this out. I promise you, you'll go away smarter than when you came in. We here at Online Trading Academy sponsor this, and we'll even send you home with a free home study video guide. Your money's doing nothing for you in a CD or mutual fund. Learn how to profit when the market's up or down. Call us now while seats are still available at 303-325-2776. Use offer code radio50. 303-325-2776. That's 303-325-2776.
Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage. Pay off your home in half the time without changing one penny of your spending habits. Need access to your equity for cash out to pay off debt, make that long-needed home improvement, or just take that vacation? Take advantage of AIM's The All About You event, where you'll receive a $300 gift card for any closed loan. Use at Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, or Lowe's. And the opportunity for $1,000 cash, 3 days in Breckenridge, or a new 55-inch flat screen. Call 720-895-0500 for details. If you are tired of paying mortgage insurance, stop. Loans to 95% loan to value with no MI. Looking at buying that new home? Paperless loan approvals with low rates to 97% loan to value and quick closes. Take AIM 720-895-0500. Find out why more Coloradans every day choose AIM for their mortgage needs, where you come first. Call now to take advantage of the All About You event. $300 now and the opportunity for another $1,000. Call for details. 720-895-0500. Regulated by DOR, NMLS 298191, Equal Credit Lender.
Don't fall for gimmick ads when choosing your insurance coverage. Group Insurance Analyst has been Colorado's insurance superstore since 1984, where customers can compare and shop for all of their insurance needs. At GIA Insurance, their brokers have no allegiance to any particular health, auto, or home insurance company. Take advantage of their experience, expertise, and exceptional client service. For your free quote, call today at 303-423-0162. That's 303-423-0162. Visit their website, e-gia.com, or stop by their office at 44th and Garrison Street in Wheat Ridge. Group Insurance Analyst is an official Haystack Help registered company.
Tired of walking into gun stores and seeing the same guns everywhere you go? Check out our sponsor, Old Steel Historical Firearms. Hi, this is Scott Watley of Sportsman of Colorado. At Old Steel, they specialize in the purchase and sale of historical firearms. Need to get your firearm collection appraised? They can help. Buy, sell, trade, and consignments are welcome at Old Steel. Open 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday. Old Steel Historical Firearms is located at 12 East Girard Avenue in Inglewood. That's just 2 blocks north of Hamden off Broadway. Now you can own a piece of history at Old Steel Historical Firearms. Call 720-662-7252. That's 720-662-7252. Check out their website, oldsteelguns.com.
Well, we did it now. Hi, Dan Johnson from Lynn Lyle Chevrolet, and we received a special allocation of over 600 new Chevrolets, and we're out of room. So to relieve our problem, check these deals out. A 2017 Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 for up to $11,000 off MSRP, or lease a 2017 Chevy Cruze for only $199 a month, sign and drive, or a 2017 Chevrolet Equinox for up to $6,000 off MSRP. Go east and pay the lease. Lynn Lyle Chevrolet, I-225 in East Colfax, or on the web at lynnlylechevrolet.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Rush to Reason with John Rush. Weekdays from 3 to 7 on KLZ 560.
And we are back. You're listening to Haystack Help Radio in a special edition of Your Money Matters, brought to you by Affordable Interest Mortgage. Once again, their number is 720-895-0500. They can handle all of your mortgage need. If you call there, ask for Jared. He'll be glad to help you out. Jared Bouzek is our guest. We're talking about real estate investing. And before we get into all the different ways of how, maybe where we should invest, let's talk about how to get started.
Yeah, so I get a lot of people who just call me and will say, hey, I'm interested in real estate investing, or I do a lot of online stuff and I interact with a lot of real estate investors online. And ultimately, they're wanting to dive in and say, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. And a lot of times it's like, whoa, we need to pull back the reins a little bit because we've never even defined why you want to real estate invest. What is the goal? I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. If you don't even know where you're going with this, then, because there's so many different goals that can be accomplished depending on how you approach this. And so a lot of times I'll step back and say, okay, are we looking for cash flow? Do we need it immediate? Are we looking for long-term wealth building? For somebody like me who's younger, my time frame on real estate investing is 30 years or more. Mm-hmm. And there are some people who they've never thought about real estate investing, but they may be in their 50s and said, hey, I'm interested in real estate investing, but I don't have 30 years to build wealth. I'm more interested in growing the nest egg that I have now and converting that into cash flow. So we have to step back and define that, and it even is going to drive a lot of the decisions around what market you choose to invest in, because you're going to be able to accomplish certain things in Denver that you can't accomplish necessarily with Colorado Springs or maybe you're going to be able to accomplish things in Fort Collins that you can't accomplish in Boulder. And so it really stepping back and taking that time to say, okay, here's where we intend to go. Now, what are the steps that we need to lay in place to be able to get to that end goal?
Right. And, I'm a big fan of this. I think anytime you get into this, you kind of got to build a team around yourself of people that are not just going to tell you what you want to hear, or they're not just going to go, yeah, you should do that because I'm going to get a commission. I mean, you need some people around you going to be brutally honest with you. What kind of people would you put around you if you're going to get into real estate investing?
Yeah, I would definitely, there's the basics, obviously, of having a lender and an agent. Mm-hmm. Now, that's such a generic answer in my mind because different agents and different lenders have specialties. Certain agents, they are really good with luxury homes. They may be good with people that are approaching retirement. There are certain agents who are very good at dealing with real estate investors, and they understand investing, they understand the analysis, they understand how to find those properties that you're looking for. And so having an agent who is a specialist is very important. Also, I would say the same thing about lenders. You'll find that if you call any number of lenders out there and ask them about real estate investing, you'll get a lot of different answers on what you can and can't do and how to approach it. And so dealing with somebody who specializes in real estate investing is very important, especially with your lender, because we talked earlier about one of my early niches was dealing with millennials. One of my other early niches has become real estate investors. I deal with lots of real estate investors. And so because of that, I've developed a specialty of how to deal with them, how to understand the analysis, what guidelines apply to that, because it's almost, with lending guidelines, it's almost like you have that generic layer of lending guidelines that apply to all mortgage transactions. Then it's like within that, you have this sub-layer that's specific to real estate investing. And if you're dealing with a loan officer who doesn't understand that, then you may find that you get yourself in trouble, or you may end up being told you can't do something when you really can.
Right. Jared Bouzek is our guest, Affordable Interest Mortgage. Again, if you'd like to meet with Jared, you can certainly do that over the phone or in person. They're located over here in the Greenwood Village area, Arapahoe in Quebec. But you can reach him at 720-895-0500. Once again, it is a free consultation. Maybe you've got some things you want to work on with credit before you get a mortgage. Maybe you've been told you can't buy a house. I still recommend you call Jared and let him take a look. And one thing about affordable interest mortgage that has really been true through all the years that we've been doing business together is they really, really work hard to get everything done for clients. And over the years and all these years, I cannot really think of one deal that we haven't been able to get done. And so you need somebody that's going to work for you. And that's what the team at Affordable Interest Mortgage will do. Now, when we talk about, should you invest local or at a distance? Now, you came from Missouri. Were you shocked when you looked at pricing of houses here versus Missouri?
Absolutely. It's unreal. They're totally different real estate markets. I mean, the average home, if you spent $100,000 on a single family house where I came from, you've got a very nice house for that area. Yeah. And it's just, it's comparable to $100,000 house there would be comparable to like a $400,000 house here. It's totally wildly different markets. And from an investing perspective, it's also radically different. The investing in those houses in southern Missouri would yield an entirely different return than what you would get here.
And that's my point of bringing it up.
Yeah.
So just because, you can get so much more house there, that doesn't necessarily mean that would be the right place to invest. It may, and it may not.
Yeah, not necessarily. It just, obviously, if you're going to buy a $400,000 house, you're pretty much going to be able to buy 4 houses there. And ultimately, the cash flow would probably be a little bit nicer in southern Missouri. But you're also probably going to look back years down the line, and you're going to find that the house isn't worth a whole lot more than that $100,000 more than likely. It's just the nature of small towns in the Midwest. They don't tend to increase in value that much. Whereas here in Denver, in the really all along the Front Range of Colorado, over the last few years, we've been seeing 8, 10, 12% appreciation every year. And that's a pretty radical increase in valuation of homes. I mean, I bought my house just a few years ago, and I'm blown away at the amount of equity I have in my house now.
Right. Wow, that's great. Now, when we start looking at maybe our market here, any areas, I don't know how you want to approach it, any areas that you would say, hey, we are finding these to be pretty hot areas right now for either buying or selling or investing?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily break down to real specific areas. I think, once again, going back to earlier when we talked about defining our goals, Denver has largely developed into an appreciation market. For the most part, anything that you buy retail is really not going to yield a whole lot of cash flow for you, at least not to start with. And so, unless you have found something that's maybe not in the greatest condition and you're going to go in and do some repairs and fixing it up, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of cash flow, at least not initially. But as that value appreciates and as those rents continue to go up over time, you'll probably see more cash flow. Now, I have investors who are looking for more of that cash flow, and there's a couple different ways that you can accomplish that. One of them is moving outside of the metro area. So I have a lot of people that are going down to Colorado Springs, a lot of people that are going north in the direction of Fort Collins. And what you'll find is homes are not quite as expensive there, and they still have some decent rents, and so you can get some cash flow. The other way to accomplish that is to go up in units. So you can invest in single-family homes, but as you go up to a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, you're going to have more cash flow that's attached to that property. The other side of that coin is that a lot of times when you go up in units, you could see that you don't have quite the appreciation that you would get in a single family. Mm-hmm. So you just have to measure, once again, what your goals are, what's the risk and the reward that's attached to that.
You're listening to Haystack Help Radio, a special edition of Your Money Matters. Jared Bouzek is our guest. Affordable Interest Mortgage, AImortgage.net is their website. 720-895-0500 is their number. And again, Jared will be glad to help you. And they can help you with all the mortgage needs you have, whether it's just a regular mortgage, reverse mortgage, refinancing. And is that something right now, in our last couple of minutes before the break here, refis happening quite a bit right now?
Yeah, we're actually at some of the lowest rates we've had so far this year. We saw rates really jump up after the election. And so, coming into 2017, we're, obviously on a historic level, we're still very low interest rates.
Sure.
But we are much higher than we had been. And I think gradually we've just seen that line of interest rates decreasing to the point where we are now. So there's some nice interest rates. Refis were not as plentiful in the early part of the year, but I've seen them start to pick up here in the last couple of months.
Mm-hmm. Any gut feeling on what the new year will bring, or it's hard to tell?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of people who believe the Fed will continue the policy of raising interest rates, and right now there's just such it's like we're on a balancing beam with inflation, and so it's really hard to get a gauge on what's going to happen. I would imagine that we'll still gradually see an increase in interest rates unless there's some, major geopolitical event. I don't think we'll see anything as drastic as what we saw around the election time last year. But in general, I think the belief is that, rates will continue to rise.
Gotcha. 303-477-5600 is our number. If you got any mortgage questions, we'll take your calls. You're listening to Haystack Help Radio. We'll be right back.
Are you buying your first home? Or are you right-sizing or downsizing for lower maintenance or a lock-and-leave lifestyle? This is Pamela Meyer of Denver Home Navigators with Keller Williams. I can help you discover and reach those goals. This is more than just real estate. It's about your life and your dreams. Call me today for your free consultation at 303-506-0106. At Denver Home Navigators, we help map your course. It's all about you. Call me now at 303-506-0106 or visit my website at denverhomenavigators.com. I'm Pamela Meyer, the exclusive agent for Haystack Help Radio, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Did you know that each and every day, 21 United States veterans commit suicide? Last year, active duty suicides surpassed the number of combat deaths. When soldiers come home, it is a huge adjustment, and they're often plagued with disabilities, such as immobility, PTSD, or a traumatic brain injury. You can help by donating to Freedom Service Dogs. This nonprofit rescues dogs from local shelters and trains them to become service dogs for these heroes. Help give back to those who have given so much. Donate now at freedomservicedogs.org.
At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we believe that all pets deserve to have a good life. And because we know that your pet will have many different needs throughout its life, we offer complete pet care services every day, all at one location. Whether your furry friend needs a checkup, advanced medical care, surgery, boarding, grooming, obedience training, food, care products, or toys, we are here for your pet 7 days a week. At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, we know that you want the very best for your pet, which is why you can count on us to provide top-notch care in everything we do. We are certified with the highest rankings by the American Animal Hospital Association and hold a gold star rating with the Better Business Bureau. You and your pet can visit us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are located at 8681 East Lincoln Avenue in Lone Tree. Learn more about us by visiting our website at lonetreevet.com or just give us a call at 303-708-8050.
This is Scott Watley for my friends at Rampart Firearms in Sedalia. This is a great store, family owned and operated. They buy, sell, trade, and consign firearms. You will find a great selection of new and pre-owned handguns, shotguns, and rifles. If you can't find the gun you want, Rampart Firearms will special order your gun at no extra cost. Found a gun on the internet? Rampart Firearms will do one firearm transfer and the background check for only $10 if you mention Sportsman of Colorado. Rampart Firearms, 720-468-0050. That's 720-468-0050. Located at Highway 67 in Santa Fe in Sedalia. Rampart Firearms open 7 days a week. 720-468-0050.
Denver's Afternoon Rush. Rush to Reason is coming up at 3. Now, back to Haystack Help Radio.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio. If you're just joining us, my name is Scott Watley. Jared Bouzek is our guest. Affordable Interest Mortgage. This is a special edition of Haystack Help Radio. We do it each week. Your money matters. And each week we try to bring you local, good companies that have something to do with our money. Maybe we talk about insurance. Maybe we talk about credit repair, real estate. And, of course, nothing is more important with your money than a mortgage. You need people you can trust, like Jared talked about earlier. And again, we've been doing business with Affordable Interest Mortgage for a number of years, and I promise you, you can trust them. 720-895-0500. So now, when we talk about investing, a lot of people think, okay, investing, am I better off doing something maybe in the stock market or doing something with real estate? How would you compare those two?
So similar to investing in the stock market, when you're investing in the stock market, you're purchasing a share in a company, and you have certain inflows that are associated with that, whether it be appreciation in the value of that stock because the company has become more valuable. You have dividends, which are a mode of increase in your investment. But you also have risks that are associated with the stock market. There are market risks. There is inflationary risks. There's geopolitical risks that are tied to those companies. And so it's very similar in real estate investing. The difference with real estate is that you don't own a share of a company. You own a tangible asset. Mm-hmm. If I want to go down and look at 123 Main Street that I own as a rental property, I can go drive by that rental property. Sure. And one of the biggest advantages to real estate investing is the ability to leverage with a mortgage. And that is going to amplify your returns with real estate investing, and why you can really do quite well with real estate investing as opposed to the stock market in some ways. and there is a risk level that's attached to that leverage, but ultimately you can manage that risk to a level that you're comfortable with.
Right. So when people start talking about this, and you start talking about expenses, what all do we need to kind of account for and through this? It's kind of like when people come to me about starting a business. I'm like, whatever you think it's going to cost, get about 4 times that, because I'm telling you, it is not what you think it's going to be ever. Same thing kind of true with this?
Yeah, I think they're the most obvious expenses that you need to account for that everybody kind of understands. I've got a mortgage payment. I have to pay property taxes. I want to keep insurance to, make sure that I'm protected if something were to happen to that property. Then you also have things that a lot of people don't think about. You're probably going to have some repairs that need to happen on a monthly basis. You've got to make a decision. We talked earlier about team building. You've got to make a decision if you're going to use property management. Am I going to have somebody who takes care of collecting the rent, who leases the property for me, manages the expenses? Because, ultimately, not everybody likes to receive calls at 2 a.m. saying there's a water leak. And so, you're going to decide what kind of a landlord do I want to be.
Sure.
And some people don't mind having that very direct involvement, and some people say, I'd rather pay somebody else.
I just want to check and not deal with anything.
Yeah, put the money in my account and we'll call it good. And so we've got to think about property management, and then we've also got things like vacancy. Vacancy is that we naturally understand there's going to be some turnover. You're going to rent the property for 6 months or a year, and we know there's going to be that little gap in time where we have to make little repairs, and then we need to get the property leased out. And so accounting for vacancy expenses is just saying we understand there's going to be a gap in the income for a while. And then you also have things like capital expenses, which are different from general repairs. Capital expenses are your big items that it's not necessarily a repair, but it's over time, that you're going to have to replace that item, whether it be the roof or the air conditioning unit or appliances or whatever it may be. And so we don't know exactly when that's going to happen as far as replacing that, but we set aside money every month to plan for that happening down the road.
Right. And, just real quick, when it comes to doing leases and all that stuff, just a quick word, get that done legally. Yes. With an attorney, contracts, because you know what? I can't tell you how many times we get calls with Haystack Help where people have done things and just kind of wrote it out very freelance, or really didn't write out anything. They just got their deposit and then people's been paying them whatever. So I highly recommend hiring a good attorney like Kevin Flesh that does our show with us here to do leases or any kind of rental agreement and all that, because you can find yourself in a mess if you don't.
Absolutely. Yep. And I agree with the same thing. I'll have people ask me about leases, and I'll just say, I won't advise you on that because I'm just not an attorney.
Right.
And, there are generic leases out there that are available, but really if you want to be protected, go to a professional and just have them check it out for you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we just got a call just the other day, just real quick, lady. Had a granddaughter call her, wanted to come do some laundry. That's exactly the way the story went. The girl brought 20 bags of laundry to their grandmother's house and then wouldn't leave. And so I asked the grandmother, I said, well, how long has this been going on? She said 7 months. So then her choice was, A, call the police. Most time the police won't get involved in those kind of deals, okay? They just say, hey, you need to get an attorney, whatever. She was going to have to do a deal to evict her. Now, we ended up getting a relative involved where they came over, got the granddaughter out. But I'm telling you, first of all, don't wait for different things when it comes to contracts or people in your home, anything like that, because you're going to find yourself in a mess. But again, any kind of lease, rental agreement, sale, anything you're going to be getting money for, highly, highly, highly recommend getting that done legally. And again, we highly recommend Kevin Flesh for that. Kevin's number is 303-806-8886, just so you have it. So now, when you talk about, the whole strategy behind this, you had a term here down that I was not familiar with, house hacking and nomad strategies. Explain that.
So those are actually two different strategies, and they're one of, once again, probably hundreds of strategies that are out there for real estate investing. I specifically chose these two because they're some of the most basic, and a lot of people, in a way, are kind of already doing them, and they don't realize that they are doing them. So house hacking is a term that's thrown around a lot on the internet now, but it refers to buying a property. The most basic sense is buying a multifamily property. So we decide we're going to live in a duplex, and we're going to live in one unit, and we're going to rent the other unit. And so the rental income from that other unit helps you make the mortgage payment. In some markets, it may pay the entire mortgage payment for you. It just depends on how the property was priced, how good of a job you did in sourcing that property, things like that. And so you're hacking the house because you're lowering your own living expenses by getting rental income. Now, this happens in a lot of different ways. Of course, there's multifamily, duplexes all the way up to fourplexes. You have people who I see listings all the time who are renting out a room in their house. They're renting out their basement. They've got a mother-in-law quarters. They're renting out the garage apartment. They've got any number of ways that they can do this. There's Airbnb, which has become very popular. So each of these is a method of house hacking, and you're offsetting your monthly expenses with that rental income.
Now, when it comes to financing for different things with investing, how is that tricky?
Yeah, well, the advantage to house hacking in particular is that you're able to go in as that is your primary residence. You're an owner-occupant, and so therefore you get access to the mortgages. Mortgages for a primary residence are very different than mortgages for an investment property. With an investment property, you're going to, on a single-family home, you have to put at least 15% down to get a conventional mortgage. Now, on a multifamily, you got to put 25% down for an investment property. Whenever you are going to live in that property, it's viewed differently, and you have access to all of the things that are out there. For single family, you can put 3% down on a conventional mortgage. You can get an FHA mortgage. For veterans, there are a lot of veterans who go in and will buy a property for zero down because they have access to that. And so the advantage of house hacking is that not only do you get the lower down payments, so therefore you can enter real estate investing, but then you also get the nicer interest rates that are tied to being a primary resident, because whenever you're investing as an investment property, you are going to naturally have higher interest rates that are tied to that. And so house hacking is a way to get started in real estate investing. You don't have to have a huge amount of money to do it, and you get some pretty nice interest rates to do it.
Right. Now, I don't know if there's certain programs you use, but most of us just think, okay, do I do a 15-year, 30-year kind of mortgage? How do you, again, this is why people got to sit down with you and tell you their goals and what's going on and what they're trying to do, right? For you to.
Yeah, and that's where I'd kind of pause in this, and I'd say, I will do a free consultation with anybody. If you want to come, just a couple weeks ago, I had a mother and son who wanted real estate invest. They came, sat down in my office. We talked for about an hour. I'm more than happy to do that. I mean, if you can't tell, I love real estate investing, and I'll sit down and talk to you about real estate investing all day long. And so, you're more than welcome to call me or come into my office and we'll talk about it. But yeah, I mean, it's, a 15-year versus a 30-year it depends on mindset, but in general, I tell people to go for the 30-year. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, if you're in a 15-year, which has quite a bit higher payment than a 30-year, and you have a life event that happens, if you have a medical emergency, if you lose your job or something like that, you can fall back on that lower 30-year payment. And while things are good, you can pay it like a 15-year mortgage. Sure. And ultimately, if you look at the difference in interest rate over that long period of time, it's a little bit higher doing it that way, paying a 30-year like a 15-year, but it's not a dramatic difference. And to me, I view it as an insurance policy. Now, I mean, as far as real estate investing is concerned, you can, a person can have up to 10 financed properties in their names to do conventional mortgages. And so whenever you're looking at long term, if you're thinking I want to acquire 10 or more properties, then having that 30-year mortgage is going to help you in your debt to income ratio, because that's one of the biggest factors in qualifying for a mortgage. And so having that lower payment keeps your debt level lower, and as far as your payments are concerned. And so therefore I can qualify you for more over a period of time. And the nice thing also is that, and this relates to house hacking as well, is that I can count your rental income as qualifying income. So, for instance, I've had people that have come to me and said, I was told that I can only qualify for $300,000, just to throw out a number. And they decide, hey, I'd like to house hack, I'd like to get into real estate investing. And I'll say, well, did you know if you went and bought a duplex, I can count the rental income from that other unit, and now you can qualify for $350,000 or $400,000 or whatever the number is. But because of that rental income, I can qualify you for more property. And you're going to find a lot of lenders that will tell you, no, you can't count the rental income. No, you have to have 2 years of history. That's not what the guidelines say. The guidelines say you can count that rental income, and you don't have to have a history of real estate investing to do that. There's only one of the what I call the in-the-box mortgages that requires any kind of history of landlord experience to count income, and that's the VA mortgage. When you get into the multifamily properties, the VA likes to see landlord experience.
Right.
But outside of that, you can count rental income.
Wow. Good to know. Jared knows his stuff. If you need some help, you've been thinking about getting into real estate investing, I suggest you give him a call, 720-895-0500. This is Haystack Help Radio and a special edition of Your Money Matters. We'll be right back.
You were injured in an accident. At first, you didn't worry about it too much. I mean, accidents happen, right? But then the pain started to keep you up all night, and the doctor bills started to pile up. And to top it all off, the person responsible is just avoiding you altogether. So now you're stuck with a bunch of bills that you can't afford. No need to worry. Call me, Kevin Flesh, and get a professional opinion about what you can do. I'll answer all of your questions relating to the accident, and I'll help you to determine if you're entitled to compensation for pain and suffering. I have the experience and the knowledge to navigate the complex maze created by the insurance companies, designed to minimize your claim. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, 303-806-8886, for a free consultation to find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve.
Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage. Pay off your home in half the time without changing one penny of your spending habits. Need access to your equity for cash out to pay off debt, make that long-needed home improvement, or just take that vacation? Take advantage of AIM's The All About You event, where you'll receive a $300 gift card for any closed loan. Use at Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, or Lowe's. And the opportunity for $1,000 cash, 3 days in Breckenridge, or a new 55-inch flat screen. Call 720-895-0500 for details. If you are tired of paying mortgage insurance, stop. Loans to 95% loan to value with no MI. Looking at buying that new home? Paperless loan approvals with low rates to 97% loan to value and quick closes. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Find out why more Coloradans every day choose AIM for their mortgage needs, where you come first. Call now to take advantage of the All About You event. $300 now and the opportunity for another $1,000. Call for details. 720-895-0500. Regulated by DOR and MLS 298191. Equal credit lender.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Let me tell you what I love about Stack Optical. They are truly one of the last optician-owned, family-owned optical stores. At Stack Optical, you can be confident you'll receive personal attention. For over 50 years, Alan Stack has shown he really cares about making his customers happy. Stack Optical also has a beautiful new location at 2233 South Monaco Parkway in Denver. Free and easy up-close parking. Stack Optical has an on-site eyeglass production lab. Whether you need office eyewear or a new set of shooting or golf glasses, Stack Optical has the solution with the Stack Sport Pack. Give them a call today and ask for their $69 eye exam, 303-321-1578. That's 303-321-1578. Your eyes and vision are one of the most important things in life. I'm confident at Stack Optical you'll see the difference. That's 303-321-1578, stackoptical.com.
If you're looking for great deals on outdoor equipment and clothing, we've got you covered. Hi, this is Bill Paddock, owner of the Outdoorsman's Attic, your outdoor gear consignment headquarters. You'll save 20, 30, 40, even 50% on previously owned outdoor gear for the fisherman, hunter, and camper. We also sell live bait, firearms and ammo, If you're doing a little spring cleaning, bring in your gear to the Outdoorsman's Attic. We'll sell it for you and put cash in your pocket. You can also pick up your hunting and fishing licenses right here at the store. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor gear needs is the Outdoorsman's Attic, located at 2650 West Hampton Avenue in Sheridan, Colorado. 303-781-3626. That's 303-781-3626. Or visit us online at outdoorsmansattic.com. Mention Sportsman's of Colorado and receive 20% off all your outdoor clothing.
Hi, Dan Johnson, General Manager at Lynn Lyle Chevrolet. You know, I hear it all the time. If you give me a good enough deal, I'll buy your vehicle. So here it is. A 2017 Crew Cab 4x4 loaded for up to $11,000 off MSRP. Or how about a 2017 Chevy Cruze, sign and drive lease for only $199 a month? Heck, that's cheaper than a used car. And we'll pay top dollar for your trade-in. So go east and pay the lease. Lynn Lyle Chevrolet, I-225 in East Colfax, or on the web at lynnlylechevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
No liberal media bias here. Rush to Reason, weekdays from 3 to 7 on KLZ.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio. If you're just joining us, it's a special edition of Haystack Help. Your Money Matters, brought to you by our good friends at Affordable Interest Mortgage. Normally, Kurt Rogers is with us, but today, Jared Bouzek. Jared's been with Kurt few years now, can help you with all of your mortgage needs as well. Also on our topic today of real estate investing. So if you've got any kind of mortgage questions, you need help, give them a call, 720-895-0500. Ask for Jared, and he'll be glad to help you. A few minutes left, so we're going to get to a few more topics here real quick. Jared, another thing on our notes I wasn't familiar with is a nomad strategy. So help me out.
So the nomad strategy is something that really anybody who's a homeowner right now has already kind of begun practicing. So the reality is that most people are probably going to move every few years. It just the natural occurrence of life. Usually it's every 5 to 7 years or so you move for one reason or another. For a younger person, you might have started in a condo or a townhouse, and then you got married and you had kids, so you went and bought a house. Maybe it was a lower priced house that you did some fixing up to, and then you want to move up in house. So it's just kind of natural that happens. So the nomad strategy is really just referring to when you move, you hold on to the property that you lived in previously. So if you started in a townhouse and you're going to go buy a single family house, then you go and purchase that new property, and then you convert the old townhouse into a rental. And so gradually, as just kind of the natural occurrence of life is that you move, and if, over the course of 20 years, if you move 3 or 4 times, then in 20 to 30 years, you've just kind of naturally acquired 4 or 5 rental properties.
Sure.
And so it's a very, once again, it's kind of, I guess, similar to house hacking, and it really is using house hacking along the way, in the sense that when you go and buy the new property, you're getting the low down payment, the lower interest rates, but you're also gaining properties. And naturally over time, I have people who come to me who they're going to convert their current primary residence. And so what will happen if they don't have access to cash to go buy the new property, will cash out their current primary and use that as a down payment on the new house. So those two mortgages, the refinance and the new purchase, happen simultaneously. In fact, I've closed them within the same day, where you're gonna you're gonna pull cash out of the current house, and we're gonna close that in the morning, and then the funds for that are going to fund the down payment of the purchase in the afternoon.
Great. About 2 minutes left. Let's hit the asset manager loan real quick, because I always think that's a great loan.
Yeah, so I'm going to go into this just kind of assuming that a lot of people have listened. They understand what the asset manager is. In a basic sense, it's a mortgage, line of credit, bank account, all tied together. I won't go into depth into how we use the asset manager, but if you understand it and you've heard me or Kurt talk about it before, the asset manager is extremely powerful when it comes to real estate investing. Number one, it's giving you access to equity if you want to go acquire properties. If you are the type that you want to do renovating and flipping houses, you can pull money off of the asset manager, go acquire the property, do the repairs. You can sell the house and then put the money back in the asset manager. So you can go back and forth on that line of credit with the asset manager. Really, the most powerful aspect of the asset manager is going to be later in life. If you've acquired I don't know, 2 properties, 10 properties, 20 properties, I don't know how many it is, but say you're approaching, maybe you're in your 50s and you're within that 10 to 15 year time frame of when you want to retire, and you decide I'm no longer in that acquisition mode where I'm acquiring properties, but I want to go pay down the mortgages on those properties. Number one, it's going to reduce my risk. Number two, it's going to give me more cash flow. And the asset manager is a turbocharged mortgage as far as paying down balances. And so I can teach you how to use that asset manager to rapidly pay down those properties so that, you know, ideally, when you get to the point where you're ready to pull the trigger on retirement, you have no mortgages or you have very low balances at least.
Right. Let's do your disclosure so we don't run out, and then we'll hit one more topic.
Yeah, so Affordable Interest Mortgage, we are a division of AI Inc. We're at 7400 East Arapahoe Road, Suite 109, Centennial, Colorado 80112. You can reach us at 720-895-0500. NMLS number 298191. We're an equal credit lender, and we are regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
Okay. You got an event coming real quick, All About You.
Yeah, so it's going on right now, All About You event, where we're running, I think we're running some commercials about it too, but if you apply with us right now, you get, when we go and do your closing, after closing, you'll get a $300 gift card. You know, it can be Lowe's, Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Cabela's.
Okay. I'll let you sell that one.
Sign up. Okay.
And then we'll have a drawing a little bit later on. Anybody who got in on the event, it's I think it's $1,000 a flat screen TV, or you can have 3 nights in Breckenridge.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
Good deal. Hey, bud, we're out of time, but thanks for being with us today.
Appreciate it.
720-895-0500, Affordable Interest Mortgage, AIMortgage.net. I want to thank Jared for being with us, Cassie for running our Facebook Live. Thank you. And as always, Mr. Grimes behind the glass, taking good care of us. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure and check out our website, haystackhelp.com. Leave it right here on KLZ 560.
The views and opinions expressed on KLZ 560 are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Crawford Broadcasting, the station, management, employees, associates, or advertisers. KLZ 560 is a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.